Hello and welcome to Keeping It Young podcast, conversations about marriage, family, and ministry life. I'm Dave.
And I'm Bethlie.
And we are the Youngs.
And we are so glad you've joined us as we continue in our Overcoming series.
We're almost halfway through the year, which is hard to imagine. May is just around the corner, and June, and we are starting on the second half of the year.
Wow.
And man, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
I just expect Jingle Bells to start playing any minute. I'm just kidding. Hobby Lobby will probably start putting out the Christmas stuff very soon.
Probably only 240 some days from Christmas, so bring it on.
I'm sure. Well, I don't think I went in to find something for Easter, and I'm sure it was probably about 3 weeks before Easter, and they were clearing out the Easter stuff and putting up patriotic stuff. And I was like, wait, Hobby Lobby, you're getting ahead of me. And we're in a tiny little town, and our Hobby Lobby is the cutest, tiniest little Hobby Lobby I've ever seen. I love it. I'm just glad we have a Hobby Lobby. So I'm just like, maybe here in Poplar Bluff, we should slow it down just a little.
Seems like the whole world is ready for the next big thing.
Yeah, there we go.
So Hobby Lobby's on board with everybody else. We're talking this final episode, or this episode today is our final installment in Overcoming Dullness. And we began that little two-part series last week and talked to you just about how that so many people live with no joy and no victory and no revival, and we're too busy and we're too introverted and we're just down and we're just kind of meh is the word.
And we don't care.
And that's it. It's dullness.
Yep.
So how do you overcome dullness? And let's just jump in and finish this one. There's a couple of things. First of all, we talked about two spiritual ones. We have to overcome dullness through prayer.
Right.
You got to pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. And I've been reading through the minor prophets and the major prophets, some recently, over and over again at a time when the nation of Israel was at its lowest. There was so much spiritual apathy and spiritual dullness and even wickedness and sin.
Right.
The things the prophets keep saying to them is basically to seek the Lord. You've got to get to God, get to God, get to God, get to God. And even when God's judgment fell and they were taken into captivity down into Babylon, some fled to Egypt, even there the message was, well, seek the Lord there.
Right.
No matter where you are, no matter what's going on, you got to seek the Lord. So we overcome dullness by prayer, and we overcome dullness by simple Christianity.
Yes.
Just living our Christian life. And joy can even show up when you go to church and choose to sing. You choose to fellowship. You don't just go find a little seat and sit there and stare at everybody and wonder why nobody comes to talk to me.
Right.
You really do have to go out. And what I've discovered is that when a person is willing to go out of their way to get to know someone, to speak to someone, to inquire how they're doing.
Right.
When you show interest in other people, then they will respond, and it makes you feel more alive. And so this is just about simple Christianity.
Yes.
And there's two others we would share with you today, maybe on a little more practical scale. How do we overcome dullness? Number 3 in our list, we overcome dullness by making changes. As long as we just keep doing the same old thing over and over again, we go home every night, get out our video game, play our video game, or we go home every night, veg on the couch, watch Netflix or whatever, or we just binge on YouTube, and or we spend 2 or 3 hours doom scrolling, as our culture now calls it.
Right.
Well, it's time to make changes, and there are three particular ones that stand out to me. Bethany may think of others.
So you're talking about lifestyle changes.
Lifestyle changes, and here's a big one. How about getting some exercise?
Yeah.
You don't even have to, I think a lot of people in our culture, we have all of these set things like, I need exercise, so I've got to join a gym. And honestly, sometimes joining the gym works for people, but often it is kind of a given that it won't work.
Right.
And the reason being is because to go to the gym, you've got to get dressed to go to the gym. You got to get your gym bag to go to the gym.
Right.
You got to get in your car and drive to the gym. You got to get out and go in, and then you got to, figure out what to do. And there's somebody there, and you may end up, talking, or you have to wait till someone is done with the machine or the weights you want to use. And when you're done, then you got to get back in the car and drive home and change. Well, sometimes the just getting to the exercise is a dullness.
It's a lot. And I would say too, I don't know about you, but I have no preference of going to a gym and being surrounded by other people. I don't like people to watch me exercise, first of all. Secondly, I don't have really cool workout clothes. You know, when you see the commercials of these people going to the gym, they've got these really cool workout clothes on, some of which I would not wear because they're not modest, ladies. Just, that's a total aside and not even part of this episode, but just think about that.
But
anyway,
it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. Anyway, I don't have cool workouts clothes, but I can walk in my neighborhood with my husband. Yes, my neighbors do see me and I look like a hobo and it's totally fine, but it's
Ladies
okay.
and gentlemen, she has never looked like a hobo in her life.
But I think what we're trying to say is sometimes people think of exercise and they have these lofty expectations of what that looks like, whereas really getting some exercise could be you just doing some stretches in your house, or you getting out and taking a walk, or you getting out and doing something I would not do and go for a run, things like that. So exercise can be very simple, but it can be life-changing.
A lot of times exercise doesn't work, though, because we are, and going back to a repeat here, exercise becomes an event. You know, I have to move locations and I have to spend money. But exercise can be a simple walk in your neighborhood.
Yes.
A 20-minute walk has been in every way possible proven beneficial to our health, both our mental health, our physical health.
Yes.
Just in so many ways. It's good for our heart. It's good for our blood pressure. It's
Your
good for our
digestive system,
yes, and
everything.
It's good for our insulin, our sugar levels.
Yep.
And so exercise doesn't be hard, but sometimes we're feeling this spiritual dullness because we just never get exercise. And so start by walking. Start by doing some push-ups or sit-ups. There are tons of things you can do at your home.
Yes.
And in your neighborhood that doesn't take that long to do, and yet you'll feel better.
Right.
So this is being very, very practical. Get some exercise.
Yes.
I would even add two more to that. Get healthy and get rest. It might be time to change our diet. If your diet is causing you to just to be dull, then don't eat a bag of chips every night. Limit yourself. Choose kind of plan out your meals so that you're not just winging it. And especially maybe if you're single,
right,
because you live by yourself, it's easy probably to wing things. Just, whatever. And often when we're just winging things with no plan, no direction, we end up making choices that are not the best, because they're often the easiest choice is not the best choice. But if we plan ahead, if you sit down on a Sunday afternoon and plan basically the meals you're going to eat in the week ahead, and basically the snacks you're going to eat in the week ahead. And this doesn't mean, you're some kind of weirdo robot. It just means you have a plan for getting a little healthier.
Right.
And probably the most difficult thing for our generation is there's always a time factor in things. And it does take time to rebuild when I've allowed myself to fall into spiritual apathy. It does take time to get healthy again when I've taken 2 or 3 years to get unhealthy.
Right.
And even the idea of rest, we are a culture that struggles to get rest. And the more research I'm doing on it, there's a variety of reasons. One is our addiction to the internet does cause our bodies to be flooded with all of these hits of dopamine chemicals.
Yes.
And that dopamine messes up our sleep cycles. And even the light from our screens. A lot of people will they'll lie in bed at night and they'll stare at a screen. And that screen can wake up. Now, Apple has come up with, there's a night screen that you can put on that's to help with that. And if you're going to do it, use it. Get help with that. But we are, we just struggle because we go to bed and we're uptight. We've been laughing at reels. A lot of times it interrupts our sleep habits. We're not walking with God. And then on top of that, we're not healthy, and our rest, we just don't get rest. So it's important.
I think we have a generation of tired people. I have never, I don't remember growing up so many people saying, when you say, hey, how are you? I'm tired. I mean, our teenager says that to us all the time. I do remember as a teenager, I felt tired all the time.
Let me jump in and say, she doesn't say it all the time. She says it till about 9 o'clock in the evening. And then she's wide awake.
And then she's ready for a party. Yes. Our culture is tired. I mean, you're in the store and you see people that and you're like, hey, how are you? And like, oh, I'm so tired, or I'm so busy. Those are the two things people will say, but then they don't rest well, I think probably because they do need the lifestyle change of, instead of sitting at work all day and then coming home and sitting and watching Netflix or sitting and scrolling or sitting and watching or playing video games or, things like that. Get up, get some exercise, because by the time you go to bed, your body has been at rest. And then for it to fully be like, oh, I guess it's time to sleep. I mean, we have been at rest, but it's time to sleep. Your body is just confused. So we do need that healthy lifestyle of some exercise, of a proper diet that helps our insulin levels, our cholesterol levels, all of that. Those of you who are in your 30s, 20s or 30s, who think you can still eat like you did when you were in junior high school, you really can't. And you wonder why you don't feel great. And you're like, man, I'm too young to feel like this. You are. So maybe get some vegetables in your diet, some lean meat in your diet, and then get the exercise and the right diet you need so that your body can rest well at night.
Yeah. And let me back up there and reiterate what you just said, because it is important. We probably more people in our culture struggle to sleep well than maybe any other culture.
Oh, yeah.
Any other generation. Maybe it's a generation thing. But it is true that our forefathers would read in the evenings. They would relax and talk.
Right.
If people were, knitting or crocheting, they would do that in the evenings. And so it was a quiet, the heart, the body and mind and heart were already being quietened.
Yes.
And there was this, just this simplicity to living your life that way. And so there's some good lessons there for us if we're going to overcome dullness.
Yes.
And we start, number one, by just making some changes. And then here's one more, and this one will take the rest of our time today. How do we overcome dullness? We overcome dullness by developing relationships.
Oh, see, now you scared every introvert out there.
But even introverts, even those who claim to be introverts, will often talk about, they want a meaningful relationship.
Yes.
A one-on-one conversation, a deepening relationship. So the answer to any dullness is developing relationships.
Yes.
And let's start by giving just some simple truths about relationships. First of all, they cannot be one-sided.
Absolutely not.
Relationships do take give and take on both sides. And I'm going to say this gently. If you're listening to us and you're one of these people that feels like I never have friends, nobody talks to me, just remember this. The danger there is you're becoming self-focused. And what you've got to do is you've got to show yourself friendly. You've got to smile and speak first.
Right.
You've got to be the one who makes it easy for people to come and approach to you. You've got to be friendly. You've got to be kind. You've got to be loving. You've got to be genuinely caring. And if those things aren't true about you, pray about it. Read Dale Carnegie's book on how to win friends and influence people. There's a reason it has sold so many copies, because it has helped so many of us in our lives that it's a highly recommended book.
Right.
And so you just got to work at it. Relationships cannot be one-sided, and relationships always take time in talking.
Right.
You've got to invest time. You got to go eat together and maybe walk together and have coffee together. Just the more time you spend talking, the greater and stronger your relationship, and the more happy and satisfied your life is.
Yes.
And then relationships take investments. And that means we put deposits into those relationships. We invest in them. We call, we text, we spend time together.
Right.
And so this is a little bit of a repeat, maybe, of saying it differently, the time and the talking, but it is essential in having relationships.
Absolutely. I would be careful, especially sometimes we girls, I don't know, you can speak about the gentleman, sweetheart, but especially like at church, sometimes girls will be like, well, I don't have any friends. And they're looking for a certain, I don't know, they have an expectation of a friendship that is not attainable until you put the time, the investment into it. You've got that give and take. So what they're looking for is, I'm going to come to this ladies fellowship. For instance, we have a ladies fellowship. We try to do it about once a month. We call it a gather and grow. And all we do is come together and, we might talk, we'll play games, drink coffee just for a couple hours on a Monday evening. And so somebody may come to that fellowship and think, I'm going to find my bosom friend here, my kindred spirit. She's going to be here. And she sits down and has what I think of as a lovely time. We might, play a game and talk and laugh a little bit. And then, that person doesn't text her the next day, or that person doesn't come sit by her in church. And so then she's just like, oh my goodness, I thought we were friends and we're not friends. Well, that's not how relationships start. You need to be a little, not low in your expectations of relationships, but realistic in your expectations of relationships. Like, people have families, people are busy. And so don't come into a like, oh, well, yeah, I've been kind of spiritually dull. I need to make this friend. And so you go and you expect to be besties right away. That's probably not going to happen. What you need to do is put the investment of time into it. And I'm going to talk to you and you're going to talk to me. And when I see you at church, I'm going to say hello to you and maybe chit chat a little bit in the lobby. And then maybe we'll start texting, and then maybe we'll get together for coffee and let that relationship develop, instead of, I think ladies these days, they just have these Hallmark kind of unrealistic expectations of, this is what my friend is going to look like, without putting in that time and investment.
That's a super, super good point. Where do you even start relationships? I was thinking church is a big one, because we're speaking primarily into the Christian life.
Yes.
And church is a wonderful place to begin to build relationships.
Mm-hmm.
In our church, I know there are people in our church who would they're so lonely and so hungry, but don't take advantage of the opportunities that we have available to begin building relationships.
Yes.
And that is in our 9 o'clock hour is our Sunday school hour, our connection hour.
Yep.
And it's smaller groups. We're a larger church, but it is smaller groups where you can get to know each other. I know one couple that come to their connection group, their Sunday school, they will be there at least 30 minutes early, because in what one of the men in the class told me is, Brother So-and-so comes because he just enjoys talking to all the men in the Sunday school hour. Mm. And what's he doing there? He's building a relationship. It's not that he's a needy man, but he shows up early so that when people walk in, he speaks to you, he smiles at you. He gets to know you. He'll have a cup of coffee with you. Mm-hmm. Those things are essential. And church is a wonderful place to get over the dullness.
Absolutely.
To walk in. And if you're one of these people that you walk in, you keep a somber face, your eyes are straight ahead, you keep your face straight ahead, you march in, you sit in your seat. Well, kudos to you for doing that. And you're honoring the Lord by your presence.
By coming in? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, kudos to you for coming in to honor the Lord. But it will not build relationships.
Right.
Go back to that statement I gave a moment ago. You have to smile at people. Mm-hmm. You have to be the one who is willing to speak first, and learn to ask questions. How are you doing? Mm-hmm. And let that question lead to another question.
Right.
And, get to know people well enough that you can ask them about their hospital visit, their doctor's appointment, their son, their daughter, their grandson, their granddaughter, their niece that has cancer. The more you are involved in church, in the life of the church, the more you overcome that spiritual dullness. And there's just life. That's an abundant life.
Absolutely. I know, even on days where I am feeling a little bit meh myself, kind of like, and maybe it's a Wednesday, and I'm thinking, because we have Wednesday night prayer meeting, I'm thinking, I don't really even want to go. I just want to stay here and get cozy. But one of the things that helps me so much is coming and seeing our friends here, our church family, and getting to talk with the ladies in my church and laugh with them a little bit and hug on them. And then, of course, it's our Wednesday night prayer meeting. So sharing burdens and being able to pray with one another and pray for one another. I am always amazed by people who come to church and they are surrounded by people, and I know exactly where they sit. I can see them because I stand in the choir, and I know where people sit in our auditorium. And then maybe one of the ladies will come to me later and be like, well, I don't really have any friends. And I'm thinking, you are surrounded by people who would love to be your friend, so that David's right. When you come in, don't just come in and sit. And in our society, not so much in our church, because I don't see this very much in our church, but people will come in and get right on their phone so that they do send up that signal of, yeah, don't bother me, I'm on my phone. But don't come in and just sit. Come in and shake hands with the people around you, greet them, smile, and maybe you'll develop a friendship.
Absolutely. So church is a great place.
Yes.
And then remembering that we're talking about how that developing relationships overcome dullness. And so church is a great place. And then I'm just going to say in life.
Yeah.
In these last 5 minutes or so, let's talk about how that in life as well as in people.
Right.
So in church, in life, in people. In life, we have to slow down and speak first and genuinely care and put others first. I've thought about this one because I thought about our friend Dan and Holly Vaughn, pastor in Weston, West Virginia, and Holly was here recently to speak at Our Lady's Refresher.
I was just thinking that.
And Holly, Weston's not a large town, but
No.
there is a Supercenter Walmart there.
Yep.
And she is known in Walmart because she takes the time to go through a line. Rather than check out herself, she picks a line where there is a person, waits as long as she have to so that she can talk to that person.
Right.
And there are people at Walmart that actually refer to their church as Holly's Church.
Right.
Oh, do you mean Holly's Church?
Right.
And it's because she's invited them to church. Here are people in Walmart who feel connected. They are more alive when they're around her. They feel life from her. And that is a matter of her just slowing down, putting others first, and showing that she cares genuinely about other people. And any of us can do that.
Yeah. Well, her whole purpose is to develop a relationship with them. She told our ladies at our ladies conference that she will choose the same checkout person every time until she develops a relationship with them and until they agree to go to church with her. So she has that same, and she said she wasn't feeling well this past year, and so she didn't go to Walmart for a while. They just did grocery pickup, and actually the checkout lady that she had been trying to develop a relationship with her tracked her down on Facebook and sent her a direct message and just said, "Hey, are you okay? I haven't seen you in a while." And that is developing a relationship. And isn't that something that you could look forward to? I mean, how many of us love going to the grocery store? Not me. I do not love going to the grocery store. But if you know you're going to go there and you're going to see, whoever who does your checkout line, and you're going to get to talk to her and maybe encourage her in the Lord, it will really help your spiritual dullness.
Absolutely. So before we close, how do we overcome dullness? Well, we overcome it by developing relationships. And here's some places you can develop those relationships: at church. You can develop relationships in life, and you can also develop relationships in people. You have to invite people into your life.
Well, aren't relationships made up of people?
They
I
are.
guess some people
Yes.
have relationship with their pets, but if somebody is going to actually converse with you.
Yes. But I mean, they're prioritized people.
Right.
Prioritize a connection. Prioritize a relationship. So you have to invite them into your life or invite them into your home. You can even invite people into your hobbies. And one of the things one of our staff guys does here, our family pastor, is I noticed that he has occasionally invited a group of guys to go play pickleball. And when all of those guys show up together and we, people flip between teams, this two will play those two, and then, all right, let's switch courts and you play them. And he just kind of runs it. But what he is so good at is inviting people into his life. And he's a little bit more of an introvert, a little quieter, but he is so connected to so many people because people really like the fact that he shows up, he invites them into his hobbies. Come do this with me, or come do that with me.
Right.
There is a ton of ways to overcome dullness.
Yes.
But if you and I are going to live a happy life and have victory, and what is our text again? Jesus said, "I'm come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly." An abundant life is worth having.
Absolutely.
So pray about it. Get yourself into church and start reaching out to people. Make changes. If you need to change your diet or exercise more or get better sleep, you can overcome the dullness of the world we live in, and you can overcome dullness in your own life. And so let's take steps to get that done. Any final thought before we sign off today?
I don't think so. I think this was a really good study. I enjoyed doing the episodes, and I can't wait to see what we're going to talk about overcoming next.
We will actually be talking about overcoming hurts and how do we overcome when we feel like we are hurt. And it's a valid feeling, but it is also absolutely necessity. It's a necessity that we overcome it.
Yes.
Or it can really hurt us for a long time. Well, you're listening to Keeping It Young podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. And whatever else you do in the week ahead, make sure that you serve the Lord with gladness.